Kanjani. This baffles me. I mean, you're married,
Yes.
you have a husband, you have a home, you have children. You find out that your husband is cheating on you. You are upset because he's got a side chick. You eventually go file for divorce. You leave him, and you become a side chick to another married man. How does that work? I mean, it's confusing because you left your husband
Yes.
for the very same thing that you go and you do. What's even worse is that you now lower your standards to from being a wife to now becoming a side chick. Welcome to Insightful Exchange, a platform where issues are deliberated, issues of national interest, issues that affect you, that affect families throughout the country. Today, we are having a conversation about the most potent, subject. I mean, this is one of those subjects that will make you sit for a while and think, how does this happen? How does a woman who is married find out that her husband is cheating, divorce her for cheating, goes out and start having an affair with a married man and thereby becoming a side chick? I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host, Mr. Lemon, to help me debunk this issue for us to understand what is the psychology of women who were married, leaving their husband for a side chick only to go and become a side chick. Lemon, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fabulous, my good. How are you?
I'm great.
Yes. Hey, man, kanjani. This baffles me. I mean, you're married,
Yes.
you have a husband, you have a home, you have children. You find out that your husband is cheating on you. You are upset because he's got a side chick. You eventually go file for divorce. You leave him, and you become a side chick to another married man. How does that work? I mean, it's confusing because you left your husband
Yes.
for the very same thing that you go and you do. What's even worse is that you now lower your standards to from being a wife to now becoming a side chick. What happens in there? What is the psychology of that? And I don't know how you see that. Maybe you can help us to understand the dynamic of this phenomenon.
Yeah. Sure. What a topic to engage on. Of course, it is quite very much sensitive, and but in this platform, we are trying to bring a clear information as much as possible, that people have an understanding and ultimately they are helped. There could be few things that which we could derive from that behavior. So we look at as a behavior that you file for divorce and then you become a side chick. Of course, from individuals, we can detect few things and find what is it that each and every one, because each and every case would be unique.
But before you go there, and I want to hear from you, and obviously because you are also exposed to a whole lot of engagement with married people and couples and so forth, how prevalent is this? I think for me, I want to understand the prevalence of this phenomenon. I'm going to tell you why. Bear in mind that the woman divorced her husband for finding out that he's got a side chick. So already there's a side chick there, and this woman goes also to become a side chick. Is this something that is, not so prevalent, or that is so prevalent in the society whereby this is somehow becoming a way of life for many women and for many married men? So basically what I'm asking here is that, could there be a demand and supply for such services or whatever relationships one wants to call them?
Yes. There is a prevalence for this, though the scope is quite very not clear to calculate in terms of between those who leave the marriage and be the side chicks or go into a clear relationship. But we do find the prevalence of that, to say there is a high percentage for that. And then probably when we engage and find what are the reasons for that, you'll see that there is a prevalence for this. But of course, it is a difficult one to calculate and to measure because it will always be kept under the carpet, kind of, because it becomes
it's
very
hidden,
much, it's hidden basically as it is, because people do not want it to be judged as a result. But it's something that which is there, and then it's present, and then most people find themselves into the very same. And probably getting into your question, the earlier one, it's that women will find themselves into that. Number one, we find the historical background of the person. To say, if we can check into certain women, we would find that even before marriage, they had been kind of in the multiple relationships.
Before they got married?
They got married.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
they had been in the multiple relationships, or also having the history of being in relationship with their friends, boyfriends. So it comes a long way to other people. So now it is engraved in them to say, okay, this is a behavior. And when now they get into marriage, whatever happens into marriage, it could probably that even for that marriage to be sour and be bitter, they were the ones that instigated that. Because you'll find that they will always probably like the other relationship of other persons. So you find those dynamics that you are here, but you are not satisfied as well where you are. You're already eyeing someone's relationship. And then you jump, you destroy your own. Because that's, for me, it's one of the worst situation that most women would find themselves doing in destroying the good that which they have, because they might not even see the good that which they have, because there is an engraved behavior in them. Sometimes it's traced down in the family. You find that this is a behavior in the family.
It's been happening.
Yes, that it's in the family, and then people in the family are doing that. It could be that there are traces in the mother, in the aunts. So it's somewhere in the family to
So there's a seed that was planted somewhere at some point in their lives.
So you find that in some families it's a trend, and then some they are even proud of that. They are proud in that to say, "Tina singena stilize."
But you know what? Help me with this, because I also want to understand. I mean, this is a woman who vehemently warned the husband against cheating, that you should never bring in another person in this marriage. You know, no matter what happened, if you're not happy, we talk about it and maybe let's agree to separate amicably.
Yes.
Because I want to understand, why would they be so vehement about not wanting another person, and immediately when they leave, they just go into another person's marriage?
Yes.
Could it now explain that this person could be coming from a background where they were exposed to such, maybe in their family of origin, or maybe around their circles, or maybe when they were still dating, they had multiple relationships, and now that they know that, so they try by all means to safeguard their relationship from, being exposed to a third person in the relationship.
Yes.
But when they realize that seed is actually now growing in their marriage, they go out and say, what's the point? I might as well carry on with what we have started at home or when I was young. Could that be the reason?
Yes, that is one psychology behind this.
Yeah.
To say the people that become sensitive on something, then when you sit with them and understand why are they so much sensitive, for instance, for cheating, why are they sensitive, and then always speaking to their partner. So this is the situation you bring, of which it's true, to say you find this woman always speak to this husband and is worried about cheating. You will not be worried about cheating unless you've got a history of that. It could
So
either
it's trauma of some sort. Yeah.
Yes, some sort. So it's either how you got into that relationship. Also, you got in by force.
There was somebody
There was
else.
somebody else that which you keeper in that relationship.
Yeah.
And then now what happens is this: you no longer have a trust to this man you are with, that he might be cheating. And then
It's stolen.
Yes, because also you have stolen him.
Yes.
But also, apart from you having stolen him, you might probably not have stolen him. This is another situation.
Yes.
But there is a background in your family of men stealing. that either your sisters or so and whomever in the family that have stolen other men.
And you've been exposed to
You've been exposed to that.
So you know how it works. Yeah.
And then now you are in this relationship, you are so sensitive to this, and then you really drive into this. Because now the other thing is, what you continue to talk about, you become the prophet of it. So you become the prophet of doom, if we may.
In essence, yeah.
That the more you are worried about your husband to be cheating, that will ultimately happen. Because you're planting a seed, and then you are making him aware, say, oh, there's a possibility for this. And then now when that happens, at the end of the day, and then you are broken, then you move that away from that relationship. And when you move from that relationship, now it gets into this juicy part to say, when you move into that relationship, what has happened to you, you're going to do it to another relationship.
So could this now be some kind of revenge?
It's a revenge.
To say, I'm also hating, I'm upset at my husband, somebody else must hurt as well. And I think that's one aspect. And I want you to, if you say that's revenge, but I mean, that other wife there didn't do anything wrong to you. Why must she now bear the brunt of your laws while, she's at home minding her own business, raising her kids and loving her husband? Why do you want to make yourself available to that husband to hurt another woman and to break another woman's house? The woman that you don't even know, the woman who's never done anything to you. I mean, where's our conscience right there? Are you saying to me that we don't even care what happens to the children of that other woman and the life of that woman?
Yeah, that's a tragedy of when you have had pain, then it's not attended to properly. So now your pain gets generalized.
And you transfer it.
Then you transfer it. And then now you break everything that which is there. Because now you are saying, I was trying to build my family. And then now someone intruded. And now because of the pain I have, why should I not go and destroy that? And then we compare this. We compare this with what has been prevalent sometime when HIV was still coming in. For instance, when people realized that HIV, then someone transmitted that. Then people now, they start to be reckless. They spread it. Yes, and then they spread it. And then that's how HIV got spread, basically.
Because I'm hating, let me hurt other people. But I want to ask you a question, and and we're going to come to maybe other factors there. You say, I've been hurt. My children are now without their father. They're not growing in the same household with both parents. So I'm going to go and do the same thing to another family. Could this not also be spiritual to a certain extent? Because when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing a pattern of destroying generations. I see, if that other woman finds out, she's also more prone to divorce.
Yes.
And then the cycle continues. It continues and continues and continues until there's no longer solid marriages.
Yes.
Now, could this not have an element of spirituality in it, whereby we say, let's go back, like you had said, maybe in her family of origin, there was a trace of people who were stealing. Could it not be one of those generational cases whereby the children are the ones who are under attack? The parents are attacked, obviously. You destroy the shepherd, the sheep scatter.
Yes.
Could it not be that we are dealing here with a case that we are not solving or addressing? And instead, we are allowing it to become pervasive and obviously become perpetual.
Yes.
I want you to take me into that part because I don't want us to only focus on the psychological aspect.
Yes.
And meanwhile, we could be dealing with a bigger issue that people, if somebody's out there at home and they are watching this podcast, and instead of them rushing into the next relationship where there is a married man, they start to ask themselves, as much as I am hurting from my pain that was obviously experienced in my family of origin, could that not be, a spiritual aspect that needs to be dealt with here? So instead of me perpetuating this, it stops right here, it stops with me. But because most people don't, look at that, they could be thinking, I've got financial needs, therefore the married man would be a solution to getting me out of this problem. But they never get out of the problem.
Yes.
Instead, they get more entangled in the problem or in the situation. Their demands become more and more that they can depend now more and more on this person, that they will never ever leave this relationship. They will never go out and have a normal relationship for themselves, their own husbands. They become a slave to this man.
Yes, yes. Look, in a general scope, we understand that marriages are under attack.
Yeah.
That's the spiritual aspect. That marriages should actually fail. They should not be stable, a family life.
Yeah.
So that there is spiritual elements in that where so for me when we will say something, probably it has the elements of curse, and we can check that there's a curse in this. Is that one has to have an understanding of his family or her family, to say, what are the trends in my family? What has been happening in the family? That is why families have to make conversations in terms of what is prevalent in my family, what has been happening in the family. So if then one traces in the family to say, there's always been in the family, people in the family that gets into other families and destroy that. And then now then it becomes to say, okay, there is a curse here. There's something that which we need to arrest. But let's check how some cases start. You might be the one that starts the curse.
Yes.
By having this hurt, that which is not resolved. Now it becomes spiritual. That which now you transfer it, because too much of that hurt and that behavior, that which you extend into another family to destroy another family, it could initiate a curse ultimately in that family. And then you find it out now it's spread throughout in other generations, and no one will come and arrest that. So now we need to also look into that to say that my action, what will it give birth to? And then if I don't arrest it, so I'm saying people who are hurt, because of course other relationships, they end up very badly in such a way that mentally people go crazy in such a way that let me destroy everything that which is. And then now you'll find it that this person is not now in only one marriage. You find there's multiple marriages that which is involved into, that is destroying now this.
So it's got 5 married men as partners.
As partners. And as partners.
Yeah.
And then now the thing, is, I think this is one other thing that which you find this spreads, is that this relationship becomes secretive.
Yes.
Yes, you hide this relationship that you can be with that married man, and then with that married man, and also it becomes convenient for you even to see them and be with them, because they also do not want to be seen with you anyway. Yeah. So that is one other thing that which you find why it spreads so much, that it always is kept down. It will be very few probably that which these women would want this relationship to be exposed at some time, for some reasons, of course. Others, they go quite very wild to say ungfihlelani mina, nami ngifuna ukwaziwa.
Yes. But also while you speak about that, and I want to throw the spanner in the works, but before I get there, let me ask you a question. Don't you think, and I'm looking at, the reasons why these women enter into these relationships.
Yeah.
At the bottom of these relationships, or at the core of this relationship, there is an issue of finances.
Yes.
Because you and I, we know that a divorce usually create a financial baggage. You were so used to living in a household with a husband and you shared responsibilities. So it's no longer the same. You're finding yourself now in a space whereby you still need to want to maintain the lifestyle, but you don't have enough money to cover the lifestyle. And this man becomes convenient in terms of giving you access to finances.
Yes.
You become a convenience in terms of giving him access to sex, because you may find that in his marriage, we know marriages, when we've been married for long, sex become a thing of the past. So most of this men goes out to look for sex elsewhere. And the easy way to find it is to prey on these women who are vulnerable. And vulnerable in terms of financial vulnerability.
Yes.
And when these relationships actually happen, there's not necessarily love in them. It's a transaction.
It's a transaction.
You are basically becoming a prostitute, in essence, if you think about it. Because we know that this man loves his family, loves his wife. The chances of him getting married to you are very slim.
Yes.
But you're always gonna be there, to serve him when he wants his sexual needs obviously fulfilled. And he obviously in exchange would pay for your child or whatever the case is. Could that be that these women are mainly looking for financial escape?
Yeah, there would be those. There would be those that which look for financial escape. Because indeed divorce really wrangles people. It tears them apart. It leaves them with financial gaps, serious financial gaps. It also depending how long it took, because also the lawyers also, they come in and then they have a lot of portions there. And then when it's done, you realize that, I am empty. Or if whatever that which is left in you can take you for a little while, then after some time, then you need that balance in your life. And then you find that there would be those that now they select, they calculate, that is now it's on them to check. But also, of course, there are men who praise for those women that which are out of divorce because of vulnerability. There are men basically who look after those.
They go out looking for those.
Yeah, for those that which are divorced, because they know that they are vulnerable. And then they utilize their vulnerability, of course, for the exchange of sex. And then they know that, okay, I've got the resource, I've got the money, and then I can take care of some other things. So there is that which is happening. And of course, you used a very strong term that which will go very hard on people to say it's an element of prostitution, because there's an exchange of transaction. There is just that one is not on the streets, and then is that, but there is this one person.
So you're a glorified prostitute in essence.
Yes, and then your needs are covered, your financial needs are covered, and then at least it gives you that breather, of course.
You don't have to be worrying about school fees at month end.
Yes, of course. So there is that element that which is present. And then most of the people, we may find them categorized there.
Okay.
Yes, and then other men, of course, coming in because they've got that financial muscle into that. And then, but now you find that most of such relationships, because remember, to find a relationship of that kind, it's very difficult for a woman to find a man who's financially well. Most of the time, they look in the circle. They look around the friends. They look among the colleagues.
They would phone somebody they know.
Yes. Yeah.
Pete, hey man, I've divorced. Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Are you available? So they also are preying on this, well-off men, in essence.
Yes.
It's not a coincidence.
No, it's not a coincidence.
Yeah, unless if indeed, they met in the streets, they don't know each other.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it would be a guy that they have engaged with.
That they know.
Previously.
Yes.
So but again, on that, then let me then bring another aspect here. and they know that this guy obviously is well off, and they will go for him. But what about a situation whereby, and I've seen it with many people, if you have been married for quite a long time, you are so used to stability.
Yes.
Meaning to have a husband and have somebody that you can depend on and so forth.
Yes.
Don't you think also that when these women goes and enter into these relationships, they might not necessarily have faith in that their husbands would leave their wives, but don't you think there's an element that maybe this guy, because he's a type of guy who is solid, is married, and understand what marriage is all about, maybe, just maybe, there might be a chance for me that he leaves his wife and take me to be his wife. Is there an aspect like that or not?
Yeah, it's very rare to that extent. But I want to bring something just in the line with that. There would be those that which they might drive that, hey, you must leave your wife,
yes,
and come to me. Yes, there is that. But now you will find that because it's not difficult, it's not easy to leave the marriage, especially for the man. It takes a lot for them to leave marriage because of the stability and so and all of that. So it takes a lot of process for that. And then you find this woman. If such a woman comes and nag into that relationship to say, "Hey, leave," their relationship, of course, is going to get sour. She might be the one that is left out. But what is prevalent is that because of certain convenience that which are there, especially for the women who are career women, women who are career women, and then they've got a very busy schedule, and then they come from a family, for instance, if they are coming from a background of a marriage where they had these housewives chores that which were to take care of the children, and then the husband to cook and to clean and take all of that. It becomes much more convenient for them to find a married man. And then because they know that this married man will not spend so much time with me. Because sometimes you find that they still need their time, they still want to move around and all of that. They know that I don't have so much to service into this man. This man will come to me for an hour, and then that's over. He's going back to the wife. So you find more also of those aspects of those women who select, because they do not want someone that probably they will go back for cooking and then worry that I still have to do that. But there are those, of course, in that category that they hope that I must compete with this. But we know those who compete more are those that have not gotten married. But these ones who come from marriage, you find some are so much broken, and then they've said, I don't want to be married again.
Again, yeah.
Yes.
I
But
just want convenience.
I just need convenience.
Companion, a bit of sex there, give me some money, and leave me alone. Because I've got kids anyway to raise, so I don't want any drama or trouble.
Definitely.
Definitely.
That is much more that which you find. That this becomes one of the major reasons, convenience, of why people would leave their marriage and be the side chicks. But also in the other side, on what you are saying, it could be that this woman in her marriage, he was already in a relationship with this man in marriage.
So already it was, as much as it was not strong, but it was there.
Yes.
Or maybe it was also an emotional affair of some sort. So they were just priming each other. When it happened, eventually, they just go then full blown.
Yes. And then now what happens basically is that she is in the relationship with a married man already while she's married. And then now in the comparison on what you have already spoken about, is seeing that this man is doing well in his family.
Not this one of mine.
Not this one of mine.
This problem.
Yeah, not this one of mine. And then now sometime you remember now they will have pillow talks together as married, as whenever they meet to say, hey man, you know, we are compatible. We must leave these other guys. we must leave these other guys. Remember, it takes a lot for a man
Yeah, sure.
to leave the marriage.
Yes.
But it's very easy for a
For
woman.
women, yeah?
Yeah, especially when finds the other, the replacement.
Yeah.
When there is a replacement, it's easy. And then you'll find it now will make this marriage, her marriage, ungovernable.
Yes. So she will intentionally cause drama
Yes.
in her marriage.
Definitely.
So that, they can just separate so that he can be with this guy.
Yes.
Obviously with promises from this guy. But, and I hear what you're saying, but I want to ask you a question again, where I've seen such happening, where this woman causes drama so that she can divorce or causes the husband to be frustrated.
Yes.
So that the husband can go and find a woman and she catches him cheating and say, I got you. But she actually orchestrated this whole scenario.
Sure.
And eventually she divorces him and go and become a side chick with this other guy, hoping that this guy will leave his wife. But as time goes, she realized, no, man, this guy's not leaving his wife. And I had my own husband. I was a wife. As much as my marriage was not perfect, but why? I had a great, a family structure. My husband was not that bad. And let me check on him and see if I cannot go back.
Yes.
And when she checks on the man, she wants to go back. The man is now married to another woman. Now she's finding herself having an affair with her ex, becoming a side chick to her ex, and still becoming a side chick to this other guy. Now she's in the middle. What happens to that one? Because now she's lost both.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
She can't have this man, she can't have this man, but both of them are playing her.
Sure.
You
know what you are saying. Someone will think it's a movie.
Yeah. No, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah.
It's happening. It's happening that number one, what you've brought. It's very much important that we bring to the people to say there are people because for the context of our conversation, women who can prepare other girls for their men. And say, go for him.
Yes.
So that she can have an evidence to divorce.
Yes.
And
so they set a trap for the guy.
They set a trap for
they
the
know
guy.
him, right?
Yes.
He will chase the scared.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's painful that there are many men who were caught and they did not know that actually this one was orchestrated. It was a trap. And would not know with whom the trap is going to come from. It would come from a stranger. You don't know. And then that's how evil our world has become. And then now, you find this woman filed for divorce. And then the divorce is settled.
And based on that, what I find is that for some reason, and I sit in counseling with women, and I can tell you, women who are really genuinely married, they take long. They take long before they divorce as well. They want to help. They go to church. They go to elders. They go to psychologists. They seek each and every person that is willing to listen and help them to solve their problems. But these other ones who become side chicks, one instance of Mujolo or whatever, they're out. This is exactly what I've picked up. Those who become side chicks, one instance of an affair, they're out quickly in the arms of the other guy.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yeah, look.
And I'm talking based on what you are saying.
Yes.
When you say, they've been planning it in essence. So it's not like this guy has been caught cheating. He has been set up. He does not even know it. Because I'm going to tell you why. What I've also seen is that you find wives who deliberately denies their husband sex so that this man can become frustrated.
Yes.
They don't necessarily set up anybody, but they orchestrate it from the home to say, we're going to frustrate you sexually.
Yes.
We know you cannot live without this. Eventually, he goes out, they catch him, they check his phone, they catch him, immediately he's out.
Yes.
Now, already, what this woman has done was to set this man up for failure so that he can go out, be with somebody, get caught, and then be divorced. You said something earlier on. Sometimes they divorce him not because they want to become a second wife to that guy, but because they desire the lifestyle that this man is providing.
Yes.
So they are willing to go and say, this marriage is not giving me what I want. I want vacations, I want iPhones, I want this and this. That man, even if she's not married to me, I'm willing to become a side chick because I'm going to get the lifestyle.
Yes,
So sometimes
yes.
they break their own families for a lifestyle, hence they run into becoming side chicks. Why then don't these people, I mean, they are so, I mean, against becoming a wife in the polygamy setup, but they are willing to become a side chick. Why can't they just go and enter into a stable? What is the difficulty in that?
Yeah, you know what you have brought in here. It's quite very much painful, where you find wives sabotaging their own marriage.
Yeah.
In different ways, and in one of the ways, it's denying sexual fulfillment to their husband. That is, they be denying them sex, so that there would be frustration to this man, and then the men will go out because women, they will know to say, this man cannot stand for this long without sex. He must find another woman, and then now
at some point,
now they will try to be inspectors, looking, checking everything, so that they will catch you, because there should be a reason for them to get out, and then they want, because remember now this thing, why say this is evil? It's that the exit must be grandstand, must be a grandstand. It must be spectacular exit.
It must be known.
Must be known.
Everybody must see what happened.
Yes, and it must be spoken to say, this man
The
is
husband,
cheating.
yes,
the husband is
the
cheating.
husband.
And then now, you know what people judge? People, they don't look at the cause and the effect. They look at the effect. They don't look at the cause. So to say, what are the results? Okay, he's cheating. Hey, this guy is a cheater, but what is the cause? They don't realize that this one was cooked from home, that this man has been struggling for a long time in the house and then trying to sort things out, but this woman has made things tough. Why has made things tough? This woman grew up with another mind of a marriage, with another kind of a man. A man who's well-to-do, financially balanced, and so on, and then having those trips, and then going into countries, and then having this kind of a lifestyle.
And here you're sitting with Lazaro now.
And then now you're sitting with Lazaro. And then you find that this Lazaro is kind of noble. Has got some qualities of life. Has got some grounds. Has got that.
He's a husband.
Yes,
he's a husband. But he's not a fun guy. He's a husband.
Yeah,
he's not giving. He's not giving you all these gimmicks.
Yes.
That you are chasing. But he has been a solid husband to you, to your children. You know, spiritually guiding you, guiding the children.
He's sober.
He's sober. But you are looking for this excitement,
the glamour.
Yeah, you know, you want the highs, and this guy's not giving you the highs. So you realize, I'm going to be bored here.
Yes.
So let me go to this one who's on social media, who's driving fancy cars, who's going, to vacations now and again. So I want that lifestyle. So instead of you looking immoral, what do? You set this one up so that you can be justified for being with the other one. Is that what's happening?
That's what is happening. That's what is happening. And then it's a desire. And the Bible really a rebuke of that. To say you don't desire what is not yours.
Yes.
Then you find now there is a desire.
Sin.
It's a sin.
It's a sin.
Now you desire, but now what is worse? You act on that desire. So it's a desire. Now you get into that desire. And then what is painful is that sometimes you find that the person you are desiring, the husband you are desiring, is your friends or is your sisters.
Yes.
Because sometimes it goes, because this thing doesn't go far.
It's here.
Yeah, it's here.
Your enemy is sitting with you on the table.
Yes, it's a friend that you desire what he has, and then is your sibling or your sister, your cousin somewhere that you desire this life, or is your colleague even at work that you desire that.
Sure.
Then you intrude into that. Then sometimes it gets very easy, and then that relationship starts to build up. And then you get that luxury. They start to spoil you. Now, when you start to get that money and then that kind of lifestyle, your husband does not know that, hey, now your life starts to change, and then you become glamorous. Now you do a lot of things with the money that the husband does not know. Then now you start to really look down even more on him. And then sometimes it becomes your husband that they cannot bear whom you have become. Because not all the time will be the wife that then divorces. But you create an environment that which becomes difficult for your husband to bear. And the husband say, you know
It's
what?
forced to leave you.
Yes, I cannot digest this anymore. Then let you leave. Then you touch something later, earlier on to say, now this woman goes to this man who probably because remember, when the relationship does not have so much that which it requires from each and every one of you, it looks like it's easy. It's a beautiful one. But now once there is more time available, now there is more demand. Now it becomes complicated. Now what becomes complicated is that now you've got probably as a wife, you've left your husband. Now you've got more time on yourself. But
You no longer have constraints now.
yes, but these men do not have that time that which you have. And then now you demand attention, and then at that time, it looked like your relationship is going to work. Because you had limited time. You had few hours together, then you've spent much more time at your families. But now, this man finds you nagging, starts now to dodge you. Starts now to dodge you, to move away from you. And then you find that now ultimately you are either cut off or you are kind of much more reserved.
Yeah.
And then now you remember that guy that which
Remember
you left.
Egypt.
Yeah, you remember
Eish.
Egypt. Now you remember that guy who always come home.
was always there.
Yeah, is always there. And then his presence is there. You say, I need that guy.
Ish.
That I called stupid at the time.
Yeah, broke.
Broke.
Yeah,
that which-
Lazaro.
Yeah.
Lazaro. Mutuamudi.
Yeah, the man that I call like he's not like other men.
Yeah.
The man that I called how foolish and then that why is not
Because I was thinking of these great promises that this man made, and I was lying ahead, and we're gonna have fun. I'm not gonna settle for this.
Yes.
Now I'm in the wilderness. I'm thinking, hey, I was eating meat in Egypt. Yeah.
And the worst part, the worst thing is that sometimes is that when you get into this relationship, that is why we should not desire what other people have, because you do not know how they get it. Now you come in closer to this man, and then now this man probably exposes you to how he makes money. And then you realize, Gori, hey, but there is a lot of illegal
Yes,
things.
drug dealings.
Yeah, that which
Yeah.
are part of this.
Yeah.
And then now this does not go well also with you. And then puts you probably sometimes in a very difficult times.
But you're also used to getting the money.
You are used to getting to the money.
You have now, your children are using iPhones and life is great, and you want to maintain that lifestyle. You are basically hooked. It's like somebody who's on drugs. You are hooked on that cocaine. You can't escape it.
And now, when it's like that, you find yourself now being abused.
Yeah.
And then that's where more of abuse, because there are other women now, they've got this relationship, they've left a very solid relationship, a very good, kind relationship, and then now they get into this relationship, and then you find now they are abused. And then now you find you know what now happens is this man you go into still has his wife. And then he treats his wife quite very well, very kind and so on. But with you, because you're an outsider, anything goes. Then and then anything that needs to be tested can be tested
on you.
On you.
Yo.
In this way, you speak of sexual tests to say now we can do anything. You find that when it goes home and then
it's a gentleman.
It's a gentleman.
Oh, he's got kids.
Yes. And then when they come to you, say, hey, what should we try here? And then you become. Then also you're
a guinea fowl.
Yes. And then now you have to perform as well.
Yes, obviously. I mean, you are getting the money, so why not? You must pay. You must act out for that.
Yes. And then of course what you have said, and then the mind sometime, and then you come into your senses later on. Say, hey, I have a man. Can I go and knock? You find that man is found by someone.
But and I want to say to those men that if your wife leaves you for another man purely because she found you to be lacking, regardless of where you find yourself, don't take them back. They've never loved you in the first place.
Yes.
You know,
Sure.
if somebody loves you, they stick it out, man. They stay with you through thick and thin. They might not be happy with where you are and so forth. But if also you're a man who's trying, maybe they need to give you some time and leeway and opportunity to go out there and try whatever you want to create and maybe excel in it. But when somebody's quick to envy others and go try to live that lifestyle that God has never given them in the first place, because if God wanted to give them that lifestyle, He would have given them outright.
Yes.
But He gave them a different lifestyle so that they can go and build their life in a way that
Yes,
the
and
Lord
grow together.
and grow together. But the moment a person say, "I'm going to start living a different life apart from you," that person doesn't deserve you
Yes.
at all.
Yes.
Regardless of how much you loved them, regardless of how many children you have with them, because they're not coming back because they love you. They are coming back because it didn't work out
Yes.
where they thought it was going to work out. So you become a place of safety for them. But that also turns you into an idiot, into a fool, because you've never been important to this person from the beginning.
Yes.
Like you say, at some point, probably these people had an affair with that guy. She had an affair while you were there. She knew very well that you are the husband that she chose, but she still chose to be with other men. So, if I were to advise men out there, don't take her back.
Sure.
Let her stay with those that she deems to be better, because you've never been better for her.
Yes. Yeah, it's a highway, that one. It's a highway that which we have brought, and then of course in staring into the man to say when your woman, I'm using that term,
Yes.
comes back and then she has left in that way. You need to really process that. You need to process that. Of course, we understand that there are other women, there are other men, you find that was his first love. And he has put all the energy into that woman, and he becomes softer to that woman. But of course, others, they've got some vulnerability. Other men, they've got vulnerability. That which they have. And then whenever their ex-wife comes back to them,
open the door.
Then they open the door. And then now when they open the door, they're already in another marriage. They found someone that loves. And then they start to forget about that.
But you see again, and I'm taking you back to what you said earlier on, that there could have been a spirit from their family of origin. And I'm talking about this woman. She broke her marriage and made it look like the husband was the one at fault. Eventually divorced the husband.
Yes.
Goes into another woman's marriage to go break it. And for whatever reason, the husband realizes, hey, here I've brought a Jezebel in my life.
Sure.
I cannot live with this thing. It's going to cause me problems. Let me get rid of it. And then now she's in the wilderness. Instead of her dealing with herself, she goes back again to the husband to go break the husband's marriage. Can you see that this person is actually a glorified home wrecker? Walking around with a spirit of breaking homes. And that spirit did not happen when her husband cheated. She created a scenario. She was problematic in her marriage. She was the one causing the marriage to suffer, in whatever way. When the husband said, can we become intimate? She pushed the husband away. Until this poor man went out to go and seek, solace elsewhere.
Yes.
And now the marriage is falling apart. She says, it's not me, it's her. But now it's him. But now we can see her marriage has fallen apart. Went in there, tried to break this one. It didn't work. It's coming back now to mess up this guy's marriage. Sure. And you see, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, when the impure spirit leaves, it goes to an arid space.
Sure.
And if it cannot find place there, it will say, let me go back.
Yeah, it invites other.
Yeah, but it says, listen to this. It says, let me go back to the place I have left. It says, it finds the place now neatly packed and good and well swept. It says, let me go get the other 7, which are much more powerful than it is. So
Yes.
This thing might look as though it's innocent. I'm just having fun. I don't want a man of my own. It's convenient for me. But no, you are carrying a spirit
Sure.
that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
But I want to be fair on this woman. Let me be fair on this woman, because
Yeah.
it's not fair. It sounds as though we are bashing this woman. Let's now bring a different spin to this. This poor woman came from a family where there were no women who were stealing men. It's a decent family where they were raised very well. They were raised to respect their own marriages and other people's marriages. And this is exactly what this wife did in her marriage. She was loyal, respected her husband, and did everything that she could to make sure the marriage works. But this husband was sleeping around. Not only sleeping around, but sleeping around with married women. This man is now carrying the spirit
Yes.
of sleeping around with married people. Comes home, transfers the spirit to the wife,
Sure.
who then start to carry the spirit that grows inside of her. That the moment she leaves her marriage after finding out that the husband is cheating, she's carrying this spirit, she doesn't know it.
Sure.
And instead of her going out there finding somebody new, she finds herself being approached by married people. Eventually, she gives in.
Sure.
This woman never had this spirit. She picked it up from her husband.
From the husband.
Why am I raising this?
Yeah.
I want this woman to be aware that if you were involved with a husband who sleeps around with married people, chances are he will give you this disease of this spirit that you are carrying, that you will go out there now and start doing exactly what she did. Remember, the two become one. Now you are doing exactly what your husband has done. It's not your doing, it's him who brought it into your life. You have now carried it, you're not even aware of it.
Sure. Yeah, that's another spin, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another spin that also might need some time, that also we get also into that. But we, of course, we're going to come into some other discussions around that. And then that's how spirits basically gets transferred.
Yes.
So we are saying here today, people must take guard of their families.
Yes.
Yeah, both the husband and the wife. Let them take guard of their families,
of their marriages,
yes, of their marriages, and let them take care of one another. Basically, let that be happening in their family, in their marriages, that no one must bring difficulty for the other, that the other then can go out. So, but what we have brought in is, you find that there is this woman, this wife, who is well competent as a wife, well respecting, well loving, well caring, and all of that. But this man is carrying the spirit that regardless of what this woman is doing, but is always looking around. And then that is why someone speak these words: a family that prays together sticks together.
Yes, yes.
So couples prayer is very much important. That as a husband and a wife having a time to pray together and then pray for one another, intercede for one another. It's very much important, because when you are two, you are able to break every spirit that might have been there, that each one might have carried from the families of origin.
Without knowing.
Yes. And then that is why that is important, and we need not to take that for granted. So that what you said, if the spirit goes out and then it comes back to check and then finds that, hey, these people are still reckless, and then it goes and invite. So the couple must take guard by behavior, and then by their spiritual muscles. That is, they must live well and then must satisfy each other in all way, and be responsible for one another, but also take that spiritual authority of praying for one another and praying for their marriage.
Yo, ha, Muhedi. It is happening, Kunzima, Ziabuya. Look, you are already divorced. You are teaching your children already that divorce is okay. I know it might not be your doing, but you are divorced. Don't also teach your children that it's okay to be a side chick. Your daughter might end up becoming a side chick when she grows up. Your son might end up bringing a side chick in their marriage. There is no honor in becoming a side chick. It's not worth it. If you know of somebody who is married, don't date them. If your marriage failed purely because your husband cheated on you, that's not your fault. It's your husband's fault. Let him deal with his spirit. He could also have transferred the spirit of cheating into your life. Guard against that. Pray against that. Make sure that you also don't go out to break other people's marriages. Think about that woman. Think about her children. It's not worth it. Don't do it. There is no pleasure in it. Mohedi, I'm imploring you to follow our channel, Insightful Exchange. You're going to learn a lot. Invite friends. Subscribe. As for me and my co-host, we are out of here. Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you.